Take two. I'm making this video because a big reason that I started the Renegade Yogi stuff is to give people a way to empower themselves, get strong, in case any big stuff starts to come out. Everywhere I look, pretty much, I see people hurting themselves with things that just aren't true, and I understand it because I empathically can feel what they're feeling. So I can hear them speak their heart, and then as I listen to people speak, I can feel into where they're coming from. And a lot of times, and I can watch these marches. So I can watch, I don't need to go to a march, because plenty of people go to marches with video cameras and things like that, and I can watch people talk to each other that disagree, and I can listen to both sides, and I can feel both sides, and I guess it's kind of strange. If you're not empathic, it might sound strange, but I can feel into what each person feels, so sees. Anyway, so like a lot of the marches, people are just chanting a phrase or sometimes a poem, sometimes they're, whatever, but they're all in it together. And so there's a bunch of people chanting the same words or phrase or whatever, and it feels really connecting to the ego mind. And then when that happens, it reinforces what they already think. So the ego, the way it works is it seeks out information that proves what it already believes, and that's the way it keeps people safe, sane, and secure. Their ego keeps them safe, sane, and secure by seeking out, finding, and reinforcing information that agrees with what it already knows. And that's why, a lot of the times people say, I already know that, I already know that, I already know that. It's like all these people that, have hate has no home here sign in their yard, and you try and tell them about the law of attraction, which I don't. I mean, they say, well, why don't you like hate has no home here? Well, because of the law of attraction. I already know all about the law of attraction. So, okay. Okay. So you don't put it together that hate is the subject of your sentence, and the law of attraction is only going to bring you more of what you talk about, think about, speak about, post about, write about, shout about, chant about. So if you're chanting about hate, if you're, whatever it is, you're going to experience more of that. So that's what we see. We see this happening, and that's perfectly fine. Why I'm making this video now is because there's a narrative going around that is permeating that maybe some renegade yogis might be following and getting upset by, and I just want to speak about that. And that is the poor government employees, poor government shutdown thing that's been going on now. Today is the last day of January of 2019, and I just want to speak to that for a few minutes, because I used to be an airline pilot for United, and the company cut in half. Many airline pilots were out on the streets, flooding the streets. We lost our jobs, our careers. We at United, I had taken a 70% pay cut before I was put out on the street. I lost my house. I had to sell my house, my car. I'm blanking now, but I ended up feeling a lot like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. If Coach put me in that last game, I'd have been, all state. And so anyway, I started to see that I was a lot like Uncle Rico, where if 9/11 didn't happen, because I worked so hard to get that job, and I was out on the street and complain, and I was a victim. I was losing everything. I lost all these things. My mom had just died, and then I'm losing all these things. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm doing this. I'm doing healing work. I do one-on-one healings. It's profound being with people on their healing journey, and I'm fine. Think about all the, if you've ever seen Detroit, the Motor City, you see what a toll has been taken there. And also, you know, before cars, there was horse and buggies. And those poor people lost their jobs a long time ago. The poor horse and buggy market. Anyway, the point is the government shut down. After 30 days, there's this thing that can take effect called RIF, reduction in force. And through the shutdown and through this process of over 30 days in a government shutdown, they're able to see which jobs don't really need to be filled by people anymore. So they get to see the jobs that are valuable, still relevant, and the jobs that are irrelevant and we don't need to fill them. So I've talked a lot about Generation Z. Gen Z is going to, when they become empowered, they're going to show us how to stop wasting all these resources. Because what we have right now, and the way it's been, we have a lot of buildings with jobs, separate buildings and offices that are supported with, you know, lights and heat and water and a bathroom and service all these people. And the truth is, we could do a lot of the same things that we're doing using a lot less resources. So we don't need, you know, 100,000 people all over the country to drive to a building, drive with their car to a building, get clothes for work, get dressed up, take a shower. We can put in one website that does the job for the whole entire country. One website. So there's a lot of government jobs that are irrelevant now, that are still around, that were important and relevant before computers and before the internet. So now we have computers, we have the internet, we have fax machines, we have printers, we have whiteout. And you know, we could print as many as we want. We don't need to use carbon. I remember using carbon, actually having to make a copy of something and using carbon paper. That's how old I am. But you know, we just have so many resources, and we've come so far with our technology that there are many government jobs that are just completely irrelevant, and people are still working them. And we're still paying for those people to work them. And those people are still driving into government offices all over our country doing jobs that are really irrelevant because of computers. And Generation Z, they're just gonna be able to streamline everything. And they're not empowered yet, but once they become empowered, we're going to start to see a lot of major shifts. Okay, that said, I think that the government shutdown is a really good thing for us to see. So I just want to caution people against feeling sorry for anyone that's losing their job right now, because people have found new niches and ways of living that they're much more fulfilled and happy. So anyway, I love you, and that's all for today. Love you. Bye bye.